Good morning, my dear students, and a very warm welcome to all of you in this e-learning program. Welcome to Science by Harsha ma'am. Friends, in today's session, I'm going to discuss about one point. First of all, you already know that electricity is having its own impact in our life. Alright, I'm talking about a key term, that is electricity. Electric current is flowing through the device and making the device run. Yes, whenever the voltage is supplied, it is the electric current which is going and moving through the wires and supplying the particular voltage, and this is how any device is running. Electricity is a boon for our life. Now, whenever electric current is flowing through any device, there are three types of effects that can be generated. In your lower standards, you have already studied about the heating effect of electric current. Now, what is the heating effect? For example, let any device remain on for few amount of time. Even let your mobile be in charging for some time, or you are using it constantly for about 1.5 hour. What will you feel? You will feel that metallic device is little bit hot. Okay, you will feel the warmth. Let it be any light. Okay, electric bulb. Let it be fan. Any device, whenever you are keeping it on for some amount of time, after some time, when you are touching it, it will be hot. Now, what's the reason behind this? The reason behind this is the effect of electric current. Like, let me give you one example. When you are running, your body will become warm. Yes or no? Come on, say. Okay. So your answer is yes. The body becomes bit warmer when you are running or you are doing any kind of exercise. Yes, this is happening. That only I am discussing with you. The heating effect of electric current. Whenever the current is moving, because the current is moving, the heating effect is generated. Actually, that is not the correct reason. When you will go in your class 10, you will study the actual reason behind the heating effect of electric current. Okay? Coming to the next particular point. Effects of electric current in that chemical effect. This is the chapter which we are going to do. Class 8 content. Yes, the lesson that we will do today, the chemical effects of electric current. Coming to the next point. After discussing chemical effects, in class 10, you will study about the magnetic effects. So, this is about the whole of the concept. Electric current, whenever it is passing through any device, its impact is created by three means. That is, either it is heating effect, or it is chemical effect, or its magnetic effect, which will be studied in class 10. Right now we are involved only with this particular concept, which is chemical effect of electric current, and that is the lesson for today. We are going to start right now chapter 14. Which is chemical effects of electric current. So I hope you are clear with the concept. If we talk about the chemical effects of electric current, there are few words which you need to know first, like the vocabulary of this concept. Okay, so for that, the very first thing you should know is the keywords, terminology, okay, if we talk about its terminology, then few of the things that we should know is the basic definitions which are associated with it. Among them, the very first one is the electrolyte. Any substance when dissolved in water forms ion and conducts electricity is called as electrolyte. Example is common salt, NaCl, sulfuric acid, any of the acid will conduct, not only sulfuric acid. Okay, we will remember all the words which are given in your book. Next is sodium hydroxide, which is caustic soda. That is about what they have given. See, examples there are many. Remember, all the acids will conduct electricity. All the bases may or may not conduct electricity. Okay. Coming to the next part, sodium chloride. You have already seen that whenever in water we are even your lower standards concept that salty water is good conductor of electricity. You might have seen it many where. So this is about the concept of electrolyte. Then comes non-electrolyte. Next concept. What is non-electrolyte? So, any substance which when dissolved in water, it will not conduct electricity. That is called as non-electrolyte. Example of it is uh, benzene, sugar, urea. We will see all the examples given because that can come in MCQ to you. Carbon tetrachloride, ethyl alcohol. Okay, so this is about the electrolyte and non-electrolyte. Very easy to definitions. Any substance when dissolved in water, that is its solution. If it is conducting electricity, then okay, good, it is an electrolyte. If not, then it is not an electrolyte. Alright, so note down these 2 points, then we'll move further on the further definitions. And be quick enough. Next, conductors. You already know what conductors are. Those substances which allow the electric current to flow, what are they called as? Conductors. Why? Because they allow the electricity to flow through them. Now, in class 8, chapter number 4, which is metals and non-metals, you have already studied what? You have studied that electric current is easily able to flow through the metals. So, we can conclude over here that current can flow through the metals. So, almost all the metals are good conductors. Okay? Those materials which allow electric current to flow through them are called conductors. Strong electrolyte and the molten electrolyte are also good conductors of electricity. Few of the example that they have given is aluminium, iron, brass and graphite. One important thing over here is some electrolytes are poor conductors of electricity, and among them we can say acetic acid is a weak electrolyte, means it will not dissociate so much. Okay, coming to the next particular point, which is insulators. You already know that those substances which will not allow electric current to flow through them, what will you call them? You will call them as insulators. Best example of insulator is the plastic, then glass. Here they have given about sulfur, quartz and dry piece of cloth. All these are examples of insulators. Examples over here are sulfur, glass, plastic, then dry cloths. These are few examples which are given in your book. Coming to the next particular part, that is cation and anion. Whenever any electrolyte is dissolved in water, it will get converted into ions. Right? So, on dissolving electrolyte in water, we get two ions. One which is positively charged ion, one which is negatively charged ion. So here, the positively charged ion, when electric current is allowed to flow through the electrolyte, at that time the positively charged form ion, what it is called as cation, and the negatively charged ion is called as anion. Okay, coming to the next point, which is electrolysis. What is electrolysis? It is the process in which when electric current is passed through the electrolyte, that is the decomposition or splitting of the ions with the help of electricity. So that is called as electrolysis, the next particular concept. Okay, coming to the next particular uh, part, which is electrodes. Now, what is electrode? Whenever any electric current is allowed to flow, at that time there is a thin wire or a metallic rod through which the current will enter or leave the solution. Okay, so for the current to enter and to exit, there is some particular thing which is needed. Okay, try to recall when we were doing the electrolysis of water. At that time we had kept two particular graphite. What was that? Two pencils we had kept. We were using the graphite as an electrode. So for current to enter or to leave, a thin metallic wire or metallic rod is needed. That is called as an electrode. Now when you were doing the part, that is the, try to recall that experiment in which we had used this. So if we talk about electrodes will be bifurcated into two types. One is cathode, another one is anode. Electric current will enter into the solution through anode. While through cathode electric current leaves. ओके, एंट्री कहाँ से होती है? थ्रू anode and exit is from cathode. This is anode, here it is cathode, and this is electrolytic cell. Where all the positive ions will migrate over here and the negative ions will migrate over this side. Okay. First, note down the content which is left out from cation anion, or before it, yes, conductors and insulators. Note down this content, then we'll move further. Note down the next part. This one, cation and anion. Next part. So I hope you have noted down this content. The next particular thing that we are going to do is the particular first two device, which is voltmeter and ammeter. For understanding the voltmeter and ammeter and the two sentences that are basically associated with them, we need to understand about two connections. Okay, this is one battery. Okay, what is this one? Battery. Now, with this battery, when we are joining some particular bulbs and anything, then it will get ignited if it is getting proper amount of voltage. This is the symbol of a bulb. I hope you are knowing that this is the symbol of one particular bulb. Now these two bulbs, when they are arranged in this way, end to end, back to back, means जहाँ ये खत्म होता है वहाँ ये स्टार्ट हो जाता है सेकेंड वन. देन हियर दिस इज कॉल्ड एज series connection. What it is called as? Series connection. Okay, that means that if one bulb will become faulty, then our whole circuit is not going to work on. Next is this way. This is one bulb. Across it, we are having another bulb. So they are connected with each other, but such that here they are connected in which? Parallel form. So this is called as parallel connection. Okay. Two types of connection, series connection and parallel connection. Now why is ma'am teaching this? Ma'am is teaching this because next particular two definitions are involved with this particular concept. This is the series way and this is the parallel way. Okay, series means in line. Try to recall series वो लगाते हैं in Diwali. That is what? End to end connection. And this is what? Parallel connection. When many series you are keeping, then what is that? It is parallel. Now let us understand the next particular thing that I am trying to explain to you. Voltmeter. It is an instrument used to measure the voltage across the electrodes An important point about voltmeter is it is always connected in parallel because in parallel the voltage remains same. Next, ammeter. What is an ammeter? Ammeter is a device which is used to measure the amount of electric current flowing through the electrolytic solution. It is connected in series always. Okay. So, note down this, then last particular two definitions which are associated with the terminology. We'll do that and we'll wind up. Note down this quickly. Next particular definition, which is voltmeter. This is not voltmeter. There is one particular word which is a more over here. Voltmeter. Now what is voltmeter? It is the glass or you can say a plastic container that is having two electrodes inside it and an electrolytic solution inside it. So that is called as voltmeter. It is also called as an electrolytic cell. It is also called as an electrolytic cell. Next is cell. What is cell? It is the source of electricity. Next, combination of such cells is called as battery. And battery gives a type of current which is direct current. Now what is this direct current and indirect current? It's not indirect current, it's alternate current. And yes, we'll study about these two types of current, so because it is associated with our concept, but in our next lecture. Okay, first just note it down this much. It gives direct current which is DC. Come on, note down this content, then we'll move further. I hope you have noted. And that is all for the content of the day. Thank you so much, my dear students, for listening to me. And I hope that you enjoyed today's session. That's all. Thank you and have a very good day. Bye bye.